Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. Hope you're having a good one. What's good? What's good? What's good? So I'm having technical difficulties with Vimeo again. Vimeo can't seem to get their software to work properly. It's not connecting. So waiting for them to get back to me about that. But we're going to go on. So I'm not going to have my watermark. So for all those that would normally remind me, hey, put your watermark on, not going to have that this morning. And we will see if I will be able to um, share my screen like I normally do. But let's dig into the news today. What do we have going on? What we have going on is actually a lot. Okay. Let me pull my notes up. That'd be smart. So, affecting everybody's bag in the United States, we have the US government saying that everybody on Snap will get some kind of money. Apparently, it's only going to be 50%, which is making a lot of people ask, where's the rest of the money? Because there should be enough for 100%, meaning they're going to send 50% of what you would normally get if you're on Snap, as opposed to the 100%. That's going to be a problem. And it's got a lot of people asking a lot of questions. A lot of questions. So that's one thing that people are thinking about. Also, the market has taken a dive. Why? It could be because of Palantir. Palantir's not doing well, so Palantir took a dive, and it looks like it's bringing the rest of the markets with it. But we'll go over the numbers in a little bit. The global M2 money supply growth reached 8% in 2025, with China's M2 at CNY 335.3 trillion or $46.6 trillion versus the US at 1%, meaning China's printing more money than even the United States. That's what that comes down to. So remember when I kept saying that most of the governments on the planet, the tiny blue marble that we live on, are not doing all that well. And that's not a bueno situation. That's really what we're dealing with right now. So it's starting to come out that, hey, China can only subsidize, but so much. China can only cut but so many checks. Everybody's got a weakness, and China looks like they're feeling theirs the same way the United States is feeling theirs, the same way Japan is, Italy is, and so many other countries around the world. So we're going to have to think about that. We're going to have to see how does that affect our bags, and we're going to have to play that appropriately. Remember, do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. That's a major, major, major problem. So we should be paying attention to that. Something else that we have going on. The U.S. Treasury reduced its Q4 2025 borrowing estimate to $569 billion from the expected 500 or from the $590 billion in July, citing stronger cash reserves of 891 billion in October, easing bond market pressures, even though borrowing remains a problem. And if you recall, Friday, they injected $29 billion into the repo market. Yeah, it's a lot for us to contemplate. It really is a lot for us to contemplate. And then David Sachs warned of Orwellian AI, not Terminator AI. And I'm like, where's this guy living? Where is this guy living? It's really nice to gloss things over when you're wealthy, work for the government, and can say whatever it is you want to say. But I think this guy is absolutely wrong. I think he's absolutely wrong. I think people are thinking that AI is such the tool that it's almost creating its prediction, right? So I think that, I think AI usage needs to be reined in. I think this hyper growth model that all of these companies have, building data centers that are multiples of football fields large, um, pulling down, electricity that can only be comparable to cities, using fresh water to keep them cool, taking water away from people that actually have to live. I think there comes a point where you have to say to yourself, yeah, this is overboard. This is way overboard. So yeah, I think David Sachs is wrong. I think he's trying to survive a market, or he's trying to bolster a market that doesn't need to be bolstered. It needs to be guardrailed. Just saying. Just saying. Kathy Wood's ARK Invest has increased its bullish stake by 238,000 shares, about $12 million, following an $82 million crypto options platform volume within 5 days. And I'm sitting back and I'm just going, bullish seems to be moving, and I think she might be onto something, right? After bullish expanded to 20 US states, including New York's BIT license approval, I don't think that that's a bad investment, especially if she made that investment while the market was down. She could have waited another day and see the market go down today, but who would have been able to predict that, right? Some maybe, some could have had a good guess, but she might have bought at the perfect time. She might have purchased bullish at the perfect time. Meanwhile, you have Strategy, formerly known as MicroStrategy, saying that they want to IPO another 3.5 shares, and it's going to be an IPO of $3.5 million euro denominated shares with a ticker symbol of STRE, targeting the EU and EK investors only, underwritten by Barclays and Morgan Stanley to accelerate Bitcoin purchases amid 641,205 Bitcoin holdings, about 47.49 billion. Yeah, they want to sell more shares so that they can buy more Bitcoin. Holy freaking moly. Now, here's the question for you. So they're going to buy Bitcoin. Oh, excuse me, still a little tired. So they're going to buy Bitcoin and hold it forever? No. What's the game? What's the game? What else are you going to do with all that Bitcoin? You're going to borrow against it? Are you going to leverage it so that you can do other things? What is the game plan? It can't just be, we're just going to keep buying Bitcoin. So I know that, that could be a business model, but I don't think so. I think there's something more to it. I mean, nothing sinister, nothing sinister. I just think that they're playing close to the vest, but I can't believe that all you're going to do is buy Bitcoin. It could just be me. It could just be me, but I don't think so. I just don't think so. I think that's nuts to think that that's all they're going to do is we're just going to buy Bitcoin and hold it. That seems nuts. Then you've got IREN, formerly known as Iris Energy, surged 580% in November after rebranding as an AI infrastructure provider. They cut that deal with Microsoft, so that's a big deal. And they're making money. They're making big money. So over the next few years, they'll be rolling out AI chips just for Microsoft. Everybody's making energy plays and chip plays. But I'll go back to what I said before. If computer manufacturing is headed toward where they're building AI meant to be used at home, meant to be used in business, why do I need your big data centers? I think that model's gonna crush a few companies. I really do. And I could be wrong. I could be an outlier. But Jensen Huang of NVIDIA debuted a computer that's, small enough. I wish I could say it's a little bit more than the volume of this box. Actually, you could say it probably is about the volume of this box. You see how small that is? This is my hand. You see how small that is? You see how tiny that is? So even if the computer was shaped like that, that's a computer with 128 gigs of shared RAM that can be used for what? AI. And his box comes preloaded and all that good stuff with AI. So if I can run AI locally, again, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Tell me that's not insane. So when you're building all these big data centers, why do I have to use your data center to run AI? You build a huge data center because you think you're going to be servicing the world. What happens if that population diminishes? What happens if that population diminishes and people start using their own local AI? Who's hedging bets for that? Because all the computers that are being created or proposed to be created are all AI centric boxes. And I think Microsoft's got a big problem. I think Microsoft's got a big problem beyond where it used to be, where they had the best operating system, or they thought they did, and all that other good stuff. Now they're going into this whole subscription model. You can't create a local account. That's going to drive people over to Linux real fast. It's absolutely going to drive people over to Linux real fast. I don't need an online account to run a local machine. What are you, stupid? I don't need you having access to my computer. That's not what we're here for. Nope. So I can see Microsoft having problems because of with their licensing, and I like Microsoft. The FTSE Russell partnered with Chainlink to publish financial benchmark on chain, financial benchmarks on chain. Keep watch on that Chainlink CCIP thing. Everybody's going for it. Everybody's going for it quietly. You're just seeing Chainlink getting with this company, Chainlink getting with that company. I'm telling you, Chainlink is a part of the connective tissue, and they become more and more so every day. Something to pay attention to. I'm just saying. Digital asset treasuries are evolving into active yield generating ecosystems with decentralized autonomous treasuries, DATs, integrating tokenized real world assets and stablecoins. Industry leadership, Majid, how do you pronounce that? Voljanovic. I completely brutalized that name. I'm so sorry. And Sandro Gonzalez highlight challenges, like regulatory clarity and liquidity. Yeah. Especially since you had Balancer get hit yesterday, $428 million. Now, there's been a company, who was it? Stream Finance also had a hit yesterday of $93 million in asset loss. And that prompted Perkins Cole LLP to actually start the investigation. Um, $21 million was recovered from that $128 million hack of Balancer. While that happened, the hackers moved the money or swapped the money into Ethereum. Oh, you can see where that's going. Yeah, that's gonna get broken up real fast, right? But Stakewise DAO recovered about $21 million, including over 5,000 OS ETH, 13,495 OSGNO. I mean, I'm looking at these things and I'm like, what? Just saying. Yeah, yeah. I'm paying attention to this stuff and I'm saying to myself, yeah, now I remember why I don't get involved too deeply in DeFi. And when I do, I do my own research. I know my entries and exits, and I absolutely invest deliberately. Why? Because what I don't want is to be involved with a DeFi platform, right? That that I believe doesn't have the security necessary. That's a massive problem. That is an absolutely massive problem. So yeah, pay attention, folks. Pay attention. It is no joke. Now we're going to try to show my other screen. Let's do that. Let's see there. Yeah. No, I want to show the entire screen. Yeah, because I have a whole bunch of stuff to show. And we'll show this one. Okay, let me move my notes. Let's do that. Start over here, and you can see everything is all red. I wonder if I can do picture in picture, because that would be nice if I could do that, since that's what I normally do. Can I do it? Well, let me do it. Just bear with me. I'm trying to work on it, trying to see if I can do it with this alternative software that I have, but I don't think I can do it all too quickly like that. Yeah, no, I think I'm gonna have to deal with it. Oh, there I am. All right, so it does have it. I'm thinking I don't have it on and it's actually sitting right there. It's not bad. I mean, I wish I could make it a little bit bigger, but it is what it is. It is what it is. At least it's there. Now, Dow futures implied open 340 points down. S&P futures implied open 69.5 points down. Nasdaq futures implied open 334 points down. Oil down 0.93. US 10-year down 0.014. And you can see it all right here. Stock futures are down slightly. My foot, that was yesterday or later, because it's down a lot if you look at these numbers. I mean, it's not down so huge that you're going to cry about it, but it's down enough. And there you go. Palantir tops estimates boost fourth quarter guidance on AI adoption. However, it's still a catalyst for I don't know why, but it was a catalyst for bringing everything down. So not sure I understand that. Earnings, who do we have today? AMD, Shopify, Uber, Amgen, Pfizer. Let's see who else. Spotify, Marriott. Anybody else I care about? Marathon Petroleum. Yes, we care about that. That's part of energy. And others. I mean, I could look at Yum Brands and that kind of thing. What else do we have? Yeah, we're not getting those numbers right, so might as well close that. What else do we have? We're in extreme fear right now. Fear and Greed Index is at 21. That's a drop of over 50% since yesterday, or of 50% since yesterday. That is not a good look. DeFi Llama, we're down to $138.677 billion in total value locked. That's down from the 143 that we had yesterday. You've got Bitcoin at 104. Look at that. Instead of moving up the way I was hoping, we're moving down toward my next level, which was my next floor, which is 102,771. And after that, we're talking about moving to 99,655. Yeah. And we almost hit that a little bit earlier. Look how close we are. We're dangerously close to that. Pay attention, folks. I told you guys yesterday, there are reasons why, you buy when there's blood in the streets. Even when it's yours, you buy, because the potential of it going back up. Even if you went from here where it is now, even just to here, that's a significant rise, not necessarily for Bitcoin, but it would be for altcoins. Do the math. I was talking about this last night and went into it very deeply. Do the math. There might be an opportunity here. Do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. That's what you're going to have to do to try to realize some of that opportunity to grow. I mean, look who's down. Look at this. It's ridiculously red. Hype, ETH, XRP, ADA, Sol, BNB, SUI, LTC. The privacy coins are doing well. Like Dash went up. Link is at $15. I mean, Doge is at 16. You're looking at opportunities that are few and far between as we move forward. BNB is below $1,000. I'm just saying, there's a lot of opportunity here for people to make money. Cardano, if Cardano was to hit a dollar, that's almost doubling. That's almost 1x. I know I was talking about all that math last night. If you missed that show, I strongly advise you, go watch last night's show where I start talking about the math and what calculations I'm using to figure out what coins I'm going to buy from the pool of my own pre-approved coins for me to buy. Pre-approved meaning I've already done my research on the coin themselves. So now it's just a matter of when do I want to execute, how much do I want to execute versus everything else. Pay attention. Pay the heck attention. It's not a small thing. Let me log in real quick. There you go. Let's look at the losers. Largest losers, Dog with Hat, down 14.35% with a GMB X factor of 10.48. Aptos, down 11.46 with a GMB X factor of 6.24. BitTensor, I know a lot of people are involved in that, 10.43% down, a GMB X factor of 0.77. Zebek Network down to 10.22% with a GMB X factor of 1.34. I mean, you're just looking at this whole list being completely negative. If we look at, let's say, the winners, you're looking at insanity right here. You're looking at zero. Haven't seen that before. That means everybody else is negative from that point forward. Let's see here. Who's on this list that I'm paying attention to? Probably nobody. Yeah, nobody. Zcash is up 7.03% with a GMB X factor of 6.62. Amazing that's up. Dash is up 53.25%. I was looking at Dash yesterday because it had popped up a lot. It has a GMB X factor of 10.18. I have not done any research on Dash, which is why I will not touch Dash. Right? Do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. Those are the rules. Practice the GMB3 because that can help you. Just saying that's a lot. That's absolutely a lot. Anyway, everybody, this is Eddie J on crypto for growmybag.tv. I hope you like what I'm doing. If you do me a favor, smash the likes. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. And if you really want to learn, become a member, especially a big bagger. You want to know what we have coming up for big baggers? This Sunday is the monthly video conference call between all of the big baggers. That's big. That's where we share a lot of information and a lot of thoughts and ideas about how we can manage our bags and grow them going forward. So if you want to be a big bagger, become a member and join in on that video conference call. It'll happen Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Everybody, this is Eddie J on crypto for growmybag.tv. I hope you like what I'm doing. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. And as always, thank you for your trust. I'll fight for that every day. Everybody have a great one. I'll see you later on tonight with the Crypto Overflow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a good one. Bye-bye.